Good afternoon. It is December 26th, 2025, and today, just range-like price action. Uh, I'm looking at the 1300 tick chart. If we take a look at the daily chart, we have this doji with a bear body. Um, that is the first bear body we're going to see in the past 6 trading days. So again, something I touched on Friday was what's today? Today's Friday. So something I touched on I believe Tuesday, was that when you see these tails, when you believe that we are in a bull channel, if you see an early sell-off, or if you see a bear bar forming and you think that's going to turn into a tail on the daily chart, it's good to look for reversals. So buying at these lows is a pretty good bet. But anyway, let's take a look. So December 26th starts in here, and I'd be looking at, a channel like this. So really, you get like a smaller channel up here. You can see that. Let me make that like a different color area. We'll make that red, and we'll make that 20%. So you can see we got like a spike in channel, and that leads to an overshoot of the larger channel. And so, it hits a high right here. So if you want to get short on a limit order here, you could think about that. But if you are thinking that we're going to get another bull bar on the daily chart, that's probably not a good bet. But I mean, look at there's very there's been two times where we tested this price level and it turned into resistance. So I think it's a reasonable place to get short. But there's not a lot of convincing evidence for going short. I mean, you got two weak bear bars right here. I wouldn't even call them bear bars. I would just call them dojis with bear bodies. You have a bear bar right here, but it's not followed up by anything. And then it just happens too quick for you to really, uh, I think, be convinced enough to pull the trigger on it. So we break through the lows of this channel, and then we start forming this contracting bear channel here. And so we're in the middle of a range, so I don't think you want to enter anywhere in here. When we come down to this channel, this is a reasonable place to start entering on a limit order. I would say and start trying to scale in right here. Not because you wouldn't have had this level of resistance or support drawn yet, but you have one strong bear leg down, two strong bear legs down in a range. This is very near the lows. So, um, not sure what I was talking about, but this is a level, this looks like it's going to be a level of support, and you can see the bear move slowing down. We got a doji here that's actually an inside bar, and then that's followed by another doji. So I think it's very reasonable to start buying here and scale in, but you probably want to take profits. So let's say you buy at 77, 69.77. If you ride that back to the EMA, you're already getting a 4 point move. So uh, we pull back to the EMA and sell off again for the third leg. So now we have, you could look at this as one leg, and then you could look at it as one push down, two push down, three push down. So that's like a wedge bottom. Um, and I think this is a very reasonable place to enter. You get a strong bull body at this low, and you could ride that up to the midline of this range very easily. You could see people take some profits right here. Could you take this higher low? I think you could argue for taking this higher though on a stop order above that bar, but it's getting into close to the midline, so I'm not crazy about that. Pull back to the EMA, go a little higher before we go sideways, and just turn lower. So you get this uh, you get this bear channel that forms, and this is really not easy to draw until after the fact. So let's take this. If we draw the short-term stuff, well, you have this tight bear channel here. I don't really see. I don't really think you could take the. I mean, again, you could buy on a limit order down here uh, with a plan to scale in, and it would have ended up being a good trade, but that's risky. And honestly, if I were to take that trade, I'd probably try and prepare myself to, let's say you buy at 69.74. I try and prepare myself. That's a 20-point move if you put your stop down here. So it's a lot of risk. So I'm not crazy about that. And the reason that is because it's a tight bear channel. So there's no evidence of us going higher. Other than, I mean, you could just argue that we're so far from the EMA that a pullback is imminent, which happens. Then we go sideways, we pull back, and then we trade lower. We find some support here. This does not look like a strong move, so I think it's okay to enter with limit orders in here if you anticipate, or if you're anticipating a move back to the EMA. But again, there's not really a whole lot of signs of a reversal just yet, other than us just stalling. You could make the argument that you got an II right here. So let's see. I think this is the II. So you got an II right there. So you could look at this as the final flag. Boom, it ticks lower. You buy with a limit order when it ticks lower there. I think that's pretty reasonable. And you can see that's probably what a lot of people did. And they just took a quick profit. And then we went sideways. And, I after that, I think it's especially reasonable to, after, some slowing down of a bear move here, to buy on limit orders. People are taking immediate profits. Boom. I think maybe above this bull bar on the stop order, because we're making gaps above the EMA. Got a gap above the EMA here, gap above the EMA here. Uh, and although we're making, new lows, there's also signs of bull strength. So after that, it's pretty much sideways for the rest of the day. So let's see how the week shaped up. So on the weekly chart, we have what is going to be a pretty strong bull close, but we're not making new highs. So not really much information can be concluded, or we can't make a conclusion with the information we have right now. Next week could be a down week very easily. I think this is just a range right here. So how's December looking? December is looking like we're gonna have a bull body, but we're at the top of this channel, so not a whole lot can be said just yet. So we'll just have to wait and see. So I'll be back on Monday.